Welcome back, guys, to Football Dynasties. I'm your host, Dell. This is Week 7 Waiver Wire Report. I can't believe we are in Week 7. We get to open up the show with some breaking news. Believe it or not, old Devontae got his way, and he's on his way to the Jets. Conditional third rounder that can potentially turn into a second rounder. First thing that comes to mind, especially because we are a fantasy show, is how much is this going to affect Garrett Wilson and Lazard? Garrett Wilson's been targeted 33 times in the last 2 games, so I think he's going to be okay. Lazard, I think, is the one that'll be affected a little bit. If anything, we may see more 3 wide receiver sets from the Jets going forward. They had a lot more spread offense this past week with that new play calling. If anything, I think it's going to benefit Breece Hall really more than anything, because now you won't be able to kind of sneak that extra guy into the box because you'll have to deal with Devontae on one side and Garrett Wilson on the other. But yeah, man, Devontae to the Jets, number 17. That is my number. I may have to order that jersey. I was never going to order it when he was on the Raiders, that's for sure. But hey, man, Devontae to the Jets. He got what he wanted. Good for him. Jets are still 2-4. They're going to have a long way to go if they want to make the playoffs. But let's get to what we came for. Waiver Wire Week 7. Let's get it. All right, guys, so we're going to start with our redraft portion of our waiver wire. Remember last week, we're going to cut it in half now. We're going to have ourselves a dynasty report as well as a redraft report. For redraft this week, my number 1 guy is going to be Tank Bigsby. He is only rostered on 44%. He is still available. It looks like ETN might be out a tad bit longer. He went from shoulder injury, now they're calling it a hamstring injury as well. So look for Tank to get more work. Dearness Johnson did lead the team in rushing this last week, but I still believe that Tank is going to be their number 2, especially with the last few weeks, how it's been going. Tank's been trending. Solid last 2 weeks. Didn't play so well this last week, but I still think Tank will be their lead back, especially while ETN kind of gets back. Our next guy is going to be Demario Douglas from the New England Patriots. He got to see 9 targets this week. Drake May, that may be his number 1 guy. We don't know. It's only been a week. But Demario, he looked really solid in his first outing with Drake May. He is going to be my number 2 for the week. My number 3 for the week is going to be Dameon Pierce. If anything, this man earned himself at least 30% of the reps, maybe 40% of the reps going forward. He had a monster game. Joe Mixon, not the most reliable this season so far. His first game back, he basically did what we thought he would do, and that was take over the backfield. They'll keep feeding him, featuring him. But Dameon Pierce last year was solid. This year in his first outing, he looked incredible coming back. So look for him to get some more touches. Our next redraft waiver wire pickup is going to be Ray Davis. Again, kind of similar to Dameon Pierce. This man earned himself a lot of carries. I don't know if it's going to be another week, but James Cook, they pretty much didn't deactivate him until almost leading up to the game. So maybe there was an outside chance that he played. We don't know the injury extent of that. There hasn't really been any rumors as far as he would miss multiple weeks. So for now, I think Ray Davis would be a great pickup. And my last waiver wire pickup for redraft leagues, this is kind of a quiet one. Pierre Strong from the Cleveland Browns. Looks like Jerome Ford is pretty much going to have to take a back seat to this man. This dude led his team in rushing, and he had 3 targets out of the backfield, which is probably going to increase because in the first quarter they were still running forward, and then halfway through that second quarter, Jerome didn't see a whole lot of action going forward. Pierre Strong, I really like him. Again, once Nick Chubb comes back, I still don't think that Nick Chubb coming back will affect his value for the moment. I'm sure that Nick Chubb, when he gets back in, they're not going to run him like they were last year. They're going to take him game by game. So for right now, if you're in need of a running back in a deeper league, Pierre Strong, he's available in almost 95% of leagues. So take a look at him. A few honorable mentions for redraft if you're looking a little bit deeper. Tyler Goodson from the Colts, he's a name. He played stellar this week. While Jonathan Taylor's still out, Tyler Goodson could be a good play. I think it's time that Tyler Algier, we give him some love. He had a great game this weekend as well. You got Darius Slayton, who is only rostered on 20%. Malik Neighbors will come back, but I think that Danny Dimes, with the rapport that he's created with Darius Slayton in his last couple of games, he's going to actually benefit both Neighbors and himself. This way, my man Neighbors isn't getting 30 targets a game because they're just going to run him to the ground that way. So Darius Slayton kind of coming out. Wan'Dale Robinson was legit the number 2, but the last couple of weeks we've seen Danny target Darius quite a bit. So it wouldn't surprise me if Darius ends up being the number 2 at the end of the season. Another name, hey, last week I said sit Evan Ingram because he was just coming back from the injury. Boy, was I wrong. It looks like that's all they had on offense on Sunday. But if you're in need of a tight end and he's available in your league, hey, Evan Ingram looks like a smart play going forward. All right, guys, that was our redraft edition of the waiver wire. Let's get to our dynasty waiver wire edition. My number 1 pickup of the week is going to be Bub Means, wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints, a rookie, Spencer Rattler. You know, rookies, they usually tend to train together, hang out with each other together. So maybe there's a reason why Bub and Spencer had a connection at the beginning of this game. It really helped for him that Olave went out. Olave concussion, that could be a week, that could be 2 weeks. We just saw Malik miss a couple of weeks, and it helped Darius Slayton come up. Maybe Bub is going to be the next up-and-comer. But for Dynasty, Bub Means he's going to be your number 1 target. The next target is going to be from the Denver Broncos wide receiver, Devon Bell. He was inactive the last 4 weeks, healthy scratch. But this 6'6", 240-pound big dude, he is a target machine. He's averaging 7 targets in both games that he has played, over 11 points in both outings. It looks like Bo Nix was looking for him against the Chargers this week. I mean, this dude is big. If you haven't seen his highlights, go check him out. This is a big dude, man. He should be playing tight end for sure. But Devon Bell, he's available in a lot of leagues. Percentage-wise, he's only been rostered in about 40%, so 60% of leagues still have him available. The next pickup is going to be Isaac Guerendo from the 49ers. Now, we didn't mention Guerendo in the redraft portion of our waiver wire because if Jordan Mason can go, he'll still be the lead back. McCaffrey situation, we don't know what's going on. He could be back and active this week or next week, but just picking up a rookie 3rd string running back for redraft, I don't like it. But for dynasty purposes, I 100% would go and try and get this guy if he's available in your league. He's only rostered in about 62% of sleeper leagues, so depending on what kind of league you're in, he might be there and available for you. The next guy we're going to talk about, and again, this is another guy that we didn't touch on redraft. Similar situation, Sean Tucker, Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back. He had a monster game this weekend. But again, Rachaad White, how long is he actually out? I'm sure that with this big game, he earned himself some more targets. But being the 3rd on the depth chart, Bucky has been the more favorable backup running back as up until now. Sean Tucker, we're going to have to take it week to week to see how much playing time he actually gets. But Bucky, as of right now, I think is going to lead that backfield if Rachaad misses another game. So Sean Tucker, I wouldn't waste too much on him, but he is available in about 76% of leagues. So again, Dynasty, if you have a room in your roster, this is a guy you want to go get after. And my last Dynasty pickup of the week, and it's time that we start paying attention to this man, this 6'6", 260 tight end from the Carolina Panthers, rookie Ja'Tavion Sanders. Again, Dynasty. This guy has, each game has progressed. His snap percentage has gone up and up and up. Andy Dalton is a professional football quarterback, and he's going to get the ball to his guys if they're open. Bryce Young is what worries me about this, because that's kind of going to be the connection. But if anything going forward, I think Bryce is going to learn from sitting behind Dalton, and Dalton is targeting this dude, and he's just breeding this guy to be the next big tight end. So Ja'Tavion Sanders, he's a guy you want to look for. He's available in sleeper leagues about 35%. So there it is, guys. There's our Dynasty top 5. Again, any questions, comments, starts and sits, if you've got any questions whatsoever, put it down in the comments. We'll try and get to as many as we can. Again, like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends. Any feedback is welcomed. Thank you for listening to Waiver Wire Week 7. We will see you for our Week 6 review in just a couple days. We'll catch you guys later.